Hello there. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Carolyn Pitts, and this is our weekly Intend Peace gathering where we spend 30 minutes intentionally bringing peace into our lives because as we cultivate peace within ourselves, we then can radiate that peace out to the people around us, our family, our friends, our community. Peace is a practice. It's not something that just happens, but it's something that begins with each of us. And as we practice peace, we then can spread peace throughout the world. So, before we dive in, I would invite you to just take a moment and kind of scan your body, scan your mind, check in with yourself, and notice how peaceful you're feeling. And if you would like, I always would welcome if you want to assign a number to your peacefulness on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being just as zen as a wet noodle, and 10 being about as unpeaceful as you ever feel. And just make a note of that, and we'll come back to it later. And now bring attention to your breathing. Begin to slow and deepen your breath. Notice where you may be holding tension. Notice any thoughts that are racing around in your head, any worries, any to-dos. Just set those aside. It's just 30 minutes. Just set them over here. You can pick them back up when we're done if you want. And as you begin to slow and deepen your breath, you want to notice that as you inhale, your diaphragm expands fully, your lungs inflate completely, and your belly moves out a little bit. If you put your hand over your navel when you breathe in, you feel it move. And when you breathe out, it recedes back towards your spine as you exhale all that stale air completely. So let's continue to take a few long, slow breaths. Breathing is the easiest, quickest thing you can do to help bring your central nervous system into a state of calm. Long, slow, deep inhales and exhales send a signal of safety to our brain. It tells our brain it's okay to relax. And it stops any of those chemical reactions that can happen in the body when we're feeling stress. And as we bring ourselves into homeostasis, into parasympathetic mode, our digestion improves, our immune system functioning improves. It's easier to think clearly because when we're stressed, we don't have access to the part of our brain that can problem solve and think rationally. But a few slow, deep breaths, you can do those anywhere, anytime. And as you continue to breathe, long, slow, deep breaths, I want you to imagine that you have like a portal on the bottom of each foot. And you can open that portal, and anything that is not serving you, you can release it. You can let it go. See it sliding down through your body, down your legs, and out your feet. Now, as you continue to breathe long and slow, let's take 3 fingers of each hand and begin to tap on our cheekbones. This stimulates meridians that help us feel grounded, connected to the earth, and centered. And as we connect to the earth and we open those portals in our feet and we tap our cheekbones, we become grounded, able to release anything that is not serving. Now, for this evening's session, I wanted to focus on some energy medicine techniques that can help with seasonal allergies, and cold and flu as well. But I know a lot of people are experiencing seasonal allergies. I'm in Virginia, and when I look out in my backyard, if the breeze is blowing, it looks like it's raining pollen, and everybody's vehicles are dusted yellow. So I know a lot of people are dealing with allergies right now, but there's things we can do to help our sinuses clear and help our immune system deal with all that pollen. Okay. Now I would invite you to cup your hand. I'm going to use my right hand. It doesn't matter which one you use. And we're going to tap on the back of our neck, right where the neck, the top of the spine connects with the skull. And as you tap, you want to use enough force to create vibrations throughout your head. If this is uncomfortable because you've got a lot of sinus congestion, you can ease up. And we're just going to tap with our cupped hand where the skull meets the top of the spine. And this is really good to help open your sinuses. It can help with headaches. It can also relieve a stuffy nose. Continue to breathe deeply. And it also helps to put a smile on your face. All right, for the next technique that I'm going to show you, I'm going to take my glasses off because it kind of might get in the way. And we're going to take our index finger and put it at the inner point of our eyebrow on each side. This is where the bladder meridian moves through. And we're going to put some pressure in and then raise up a little bit and then massage in a circle. Just make small circles. I think it's interesting that massaging the bladder meridian helps with sinus issues, but it does. And just continue to push in and massage that area in small circles. And notice too, we are over the bony part of your skull. You're not in the eye socket. None of these techniques involve putting pressure around your eye or your eye socket. Continue to breathe deeply. As you massage this point. Okay, so for the next technique we're going to do, I'm going to put your thumbs on your temples. And you're going to use the side of your index finger, the where the middle joint is near your knuckle. You're going to put your thumbs on your temples, and that part of the side of your finger, you're going to push in and rub it across your eyebrow. Let's do that 3 times. And as you do this, imagine your sinuses opening up. Now let's do it below the eye. And again, we're not on the eye socket, we're on the bone. I'm going to do it 3 times below the eye. And imagine that all of that congestion, all of that pollen that may be in your system, it's draining out through your feet, through those portals that we opened. Let's do the top 3 times again. See your sinuses opening and releasing. See that inflammation going away. See the inside of your sinuses being soothed. And letting go of all of that congestion. Just letting it drain out. Remember to keep breathing 3 more times below the eye. Okay. Now the next point we're going to do is on the large intestine. And it is on either side of the nose, right where your nose is the widest. You can just take your index finger and just push in right there. Continue to breathe deeply. Now, how hard should you push? As hard as you're comfortable pushing. If you are dealing with upper respiratory issues, this area may be tender. But if you can stand to put a little bit of pressure on it, that just means there's blockage there, and putting that pressure, even though it may be tender, can help to open up that blockage and restore the flow of energy. And this technique is also good if you are beginning to feel like you might be coming down with an upper respiratory issue, maybe a cold or the flu or some other form of upper respiratory issue. And you know that feeling when you start to feel like maybe you have a sore throat, maybe you feel a little tired and achy. These are all indications that our immune system is responding to a foreign invader. But try next time you feel that way, putting pressure on this point for a couple of minutes and see if it doesn't help your body fight back and avoid getting completely sick. Pressure on this point can also help with sneezing. And remember to breathe deeply. Don't forget to smile. We put a smile on our face. It can help us to feel good. Even if we don't have something to smile about, you don't need an excuse to smile. You can smile because it feels good. It makes me think of that expression. If you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours. All right. So next, we're going to do some more tapping like we did earlier when we cupped our hand and we tapped at the base of the skull where the spine joins. This time we're going to tap on our arms. And we're going to start with the left arm. So put the left arm out, take your right hand and put it up on your shoulder, and put your arm so the palm is facing down towards the floor. And we're just going to tap all the way down the arm. And then flip your hand over so the palm is facing up and tap all the way down. Let's do that 2 more times. Top, inside, outside, inside. And now let's do it 3 times on the right hand. So taking your left hand, starting up at your shoulder, palm is facing the floor, tap down your arm. Turn your arm so your palm is facing the ceiling. Flip it over. Inside again. Outside again. Let's do that whole thing another couple of times. So left arm out, right hand on your shoulder, tap all the way down the cupped palm. Flip your arm so your palm is facing the ceiling. Turn it over. Turn it up. Remember to breathe. 1 more time. Now 3 times on the right arm. And 1 more round of 3 on each arm, starting with the left, down the top of the arm, palm facing the floor. Flip it over. Outside. Inside. Outside. Inside. Right arm. Ooh, shake that off. So most of the techniques that we've done so far this evening are from Qigong, and they're specifically from this book, Head to Toe Healing, which is, you can order it from Spring Forest Qigong. They also have a YouTube channel, so you can visit that. Master Chuni Lin is the author of this book, and there's all kinds of techniques in here for all different kinds of things. So that's where most of those techniques came from. If you'd like to have a reference, that's a good one. All right, now we're going to thump our thymus, and we're just going to take the knuckles of one hand, it doesn't matter which one, and you're going to thump over the center of your rib cage, over the bone. When we wake up our thymus like this, it can help to boost our immune system, and it can also help to stimulate some energy in the body. If you're dealing with allergies, you may be feeling a little fatigued, you can try this as a way to get some energy going. And while we do this, I want to mention that something that's pretty prevalent belief in Qigong and in other energy healing modalities as well is that physical illness stems from mental and emotional disruptions in our body. First, we're emotionally dysregulated, or we are mentally bothered. And as that persists and continues, physical ailments eventually arise. I'm going to switch hands. That's pretty common thinking across energy medicine techniques. And you might be thinking, well, I don't know, upper respiratory issues. If I'm dealing with allergies now, that's pollen that's causing that. Or if you are experiencing cold or flu. You say, well, that's because I caught it from someone. They gave me their germs. But I want you to consider that you're exposed to cold and flu germs a lot, and you don't always get sick. And I will share my personal experience. I used to live with sinus issues all the time. I took sinus medication, Sudafed, all the time, all year round. And then when spring and fall rolled around, I always got a sinus infection. I was always going to the doctor and getting antibiotics. So since I've learned energy medicine and since I've gotten a better hold on my stress, not perfect, but better, allergies don't bother me. Like I said, it's raining pollen in my backyard. I can breathe fine. I don't have those issues. And I used to have headaches all the time, and I don't get those anymore. So I went and looked up what are some of the emotional and mental issues associated with allergies. And I'm going to share with you what I found in the literature. You can choose to accept it or not. That's up to you. But I'm going to share it with you. It's just something to think about. So one of the books I went to is Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Body. This is an excellent reference. I carry it in my energy healing bag because it lists all kinds of ailments and the emotional issues that could be associated with that. And then another reference that I went to is this book, Metaphysical Anatomy. Yeah, it's a doorstop of a book by Dr. Yvette Rose. And so there's some real commonalities, of course, between what Yvette and Louise have to say. And I made some notes. I'll share those with you. So one of them is suppressed grief or anger, inner crying. Well, that kind of makes sense because our sinuses do get congested and our eyes do get watery and irritated when we cry. Having to fend for yourself when you were a child because you didn't have an adult that you could trust to take care of you. Feeling rejected as a child. Feeling persecuted, or feelings of grief. So I would just invite you to consider whether if any of those could be going on in your life and exasperating your allergies. And if none of those resonate with you, that's fine too. So let's take 3 fingers of one hand and massage our neurolymphatic reflexes. We do this a lot. We're just massaging in the area where the arm joins the torso. We've got a lot of lymph nodes in this area. And lymph is very important in our immune system functioning. And we want to make sure we don't have any blockages in this area. If you find an area that's tender, stay on it. Put as much pressure as you can tolerate, and that will help it to open up and start to flow. Take 3 fingers of the other hand and massage the other side. This is an easy thing to do. You can do this every day. All these techniques that we did, you could do them every day. And I practice energy medicine every day. I think it's had an awful lot to do with me being able to manage stress better. I still get stressed. I can still get very stressed, but it doesn't stick with me like it used to. Oh my goodness. It used to stick with me so much. Days later, I'd still be fuming about something, but I'm a lot better at releasing it now. And in my book, 8 Intentions for Self-Healing, I give you a lot of guidance around habit changing and setting intentions and how to make self-care, self-healing part of your day so that you do it on a regular basis. It makes such a difference. Okay. Check in with yourself. How are you feeling now? How does that compare to how you were feeling when we began? If you came to tonight's session with some stuffiness and some congestion, I hope you're feeling better. It may take a few hours or a day for things to clear. And if you're dealing with seasonal allergies now, this video will be on my YouTube channel. You can come back tomorrow and practice again until we get into summer and it stops raining pollen. All right, before we close, let's draw a card. Let's use Louise's deck, Power Thought Cards. It's a 64 card deck. We used this one last week, I believe. I'm going to set the intention that I will pull a card that has meaning for all of us, everyone watching, including those watching the replay, because time is relative. All right, so you may have noticed I had a card jump out of the deck. Some people, when they're working with cards, say, ignore jumping cards. Other people say, that jumped out for a reason. So I'm going to look and see what jumped out. And it's this one. Ooh, I express my creativity. And it says on the back, my unique and creative talents and abilities flow through me and are expressed in deeply satisfying ways. My creativity is always in demand. I love that. I'm going to pick another one for those who say, we don't go with jumper cards. And that one is, as I say yes to life, life says yes to me. Life mirrors my every thought. As I keep my thoughts positive, life brings me only good experiences. Wow, both very good and interesting cards. And maybe one of those was meant for you and one was meant for someone else. One of my pet peeves is people who tell me they're not creative. I'm an artist. I'm a visual artist. And sometimes when I'm talking to people, they're like, oh, I wish I was an artist. And I have not a creative bone in my body. And that, we're all creative. Visual art is only one form of creativity. Writing, poetry, dance, music, cooking, putting clothes together, decorating your home. They're all forms of creativity because creativity is simply self-expression. And you find ways to express yourself every day. And the other one, as I say yes to life, wow, that's so true. I've been really practicing saying yes the last few years. I used to want to say yes, and then my ego would get in the way and talk me out of it because one way we keep ourselves safe is to only do what we've done before. Our survival instinct says, well, you did it yesterday and you're still alive. So let's just do today what we did yesterday. And when we do something different, this resistance can pop up because it's like, oh, I don't know if this is safe. I don't know if I want to do this. And I've been really challenging myself to not listen to that voice of caution in my head, but when I have an opportunity, I say yes and I do it. And the fact that I have a YouTube channel is one of those examples because when I got the nudge to do that, I didn't even know how to do a selfie with my phone. And I had to learn how to do videos and I had to learn how to set up a YouTube channel. And here we are. My channel turned 3 in February. So you get the nudge. Say yes to life. Life will say yes to you. Remember to be creative. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful week and join me again next week. There's Earth Days coming up next week. So I'm thinking next week we'll do something to restore our peace, but also celebrate the earth. I love you. Remember to intend peace, intend love, and intend well.